335 people in makeup, 102 of the talent are in foam latex prosthetics. You say 100 per two, okay, that's a good number, but you have to understand that's 102 people. Now, at 24 nights, this foam latex prosthetic, they'll have sweated in it for 8 hours a day, like what Tim was talking about laundry, right? They sweat in it for 8 hours a day for 3 nights before it gets discarded. When I say discarded, it gets destroyed. We have to make sure that they are actually torn up and destroyed because we don't allow them off premises. So again, 102 talent and 8 prosthetics apiece. That's 816 prosthetics that we produce for our park for this year, for this season. That's the minimum. Most of these characters we've actually done 10 per person rather than the 8. We always want to make sure we have an extra standby. Our minimum is 8 that we have to have, but just in case somebody startles somebody and it rips, or somebody falls and it rips, or they get splashed, who knows? We've seen all sorts of things happen. Our minimum for our park is 816 this year. What some people don't realize is that we also produce the prosthetics that are used at most of the other Cedar Fair parks. So our numbers with the additional Cedar Fair parks, this year we produced 2,531 prosthetics. Now thankfully, I'll be honest with you, one of the parks decided they were going to try to build their own, and our Canada Wonderland park decided that they were going to try to come up with their own, which took a lot off of our plate. Not that we didn't appreciate being able to help them out, it was just less for us to have to worry about this year. We were very grateful for that. Tim talked about the fitting process, yes? About fitting people in costumes. Much is the same way fitting people in prosthetics as well. You don't walk into a shoe store and say, I'll take that pair of shoes right there. You try it on first, right? Much is the same with prosthetics. Sometimes your face is too large, sometimes your face is too small. I actually wore this for a photo shoot that was done. Problem is that my nose is larger than this guy's nose. It kept popping out on me every time I was going on, just because the glue, my nose was stronger than the glue was, let's just say that. So it's a matter of going through and saying, okay, these are the faces we'd like to see in Ghost Town. These are the ones that are appropriate to see in Ghost Town. These are the appropriate for us to put on clowns in Boardwalk. Sometimes there's a crossover in between. Basically, this was originally sculpted as an old man in Ghost Town. We gave him big bushy eyebrows and he had sideburns. He was a cranky old miner walking around the streets in Ghost Town. This year, we're using it as a clown in the Boardwalk area. Same face, just painted differently. There are other faces though, much like the rooster face. The only place we really want to see the rooster is running around the streets in Ghost Town. It's only appropriate for that. So it's a matter of they come in, they try in their costumes, and we try the prosthetic on. Is this fit? Can you see out of it? Does it fit you? I mean, some people's faces, this is a tiny little monkey mask. It would not fit my face. Unless that was the look that we were going for. Questions about prosthetics?
Where do you manufacture? Where is all of this done? Latex stuff.
You guys were over in front of the Dominion of the Dead, the Dominion of the Damned maze, yes?
Yes.
Right next to that is the big wardrobe warehouse. Whether you saw it there or not, it was over there. On the side building, we have a little area. We produce all of our foam latex prosthetics there on our side of our building. We have all of our concrete molds there. We have a little room with 3 ovens in it, exhaust system. We do all of this on premises.
How long do they have to sit in the chair
for application?
For application and makeup on average?
On average. Well, it used to be that this person who wore this prosthetic would have, again, I'm talking 20 years ago, we would give this makeup artist 45 minutes to apply this makeup. And this makeup artist would have 4 or 5 makeups that they would do. Okay, now again, I'm talking about 1993 when I started at Knott's. This makeup artist who had prosthetic experience was doing 5 makeups a night. Now the people who didn't have prosthetic experience were working on the other side of the park. They were putting all the ride operators, all the ushers, all the 2-dimensional paint. Some of those people over there were doing 15 makeups a night. So you've got half the staff doing 4 makeups a night. And remember I said that face gets used 3 nights, right? So after it's pre-painted, it's just a matter of tacking it back on again, gluing it, and painting around the edge. So those people over there we're doing like triple duty compared to what these people over here. We've evened everything out. We've asked all of our makeup artists to make sure that the prosthetic is pre-painted. So it's a matter of gluing it onto the person's face and painting around the edges. We gave them 30 minutes last year. This year we've tightened it back to 20. Okay, yes. No, we are insisting that they've taken the time to schedule time with us to pre-paint all of the prosthetics. They're only applying it, they're only painting around the edges. Thankfully, with Not Scary Farmers, they're running around the dark and in the fog. We don't have to worry about you seeing that line, that edge, because you can't, because they're in the dark and they're in the fog. We're not doing camera-ready makeup because they're not on camera. They're darting in, they're in your face, and they quickly hide again in the dark. Last year and the years past, those few minute makeups, those two-dimensional makeups, they start from scratch every night. We used to give them 10, 15 minutes. This year we are giving them 20 minutes. We bumped up those times. We discovered that those people who start from scratch every single night needed a few extra minutes to be able to do that makeup. So these people we pulled back, those people we extended out. So this year, most every single one of our makeups, we've moved to 20 minutes apiece. It's going to make scheduling much easier for us, I'll be honest with you. Halfway, there's always somebody trying to sneak in. My car broke down. I had to park at the far end of the parking lot. I know I'm late. These monsters know by now that if they're late to their makeup time, they don't get their prosthetic on. They come to see me at the front counter and I put them in a rubber mask. A lot of these people have worked hard to get themselves into a makeup position. So for me to say, sorry, not tonight, you're in a mask tonight, they're on time the next night. Sometimes I feel like I'm their father, but it's okay. Tough love. New for us this year. This is a new prosthetic for us. This was sculpted by I have two people that run the foam latex for me year round. We're either cleaning up after last year or getting ready for the next year. This was sculpted for us for use in the Voodoo Maze. When Entertainment wrote the maze, created this world, they didn't intend for this central character to have a prosthetic. The reason we wanted the prosthetic on it is because as iconic as this character is that will be wearing this, we wanted to make sure that face looked exactly the same every single night. And unfortunately, even when you put on makeup from night to night to night, you never put it on the same way twice, right? It's the same way with us. From the first night to the second night to the third night, it gets easier and easier and easier. And we're tweaking things, we're making it different, but sometimes more is more. It's not necessarily right or it's not necessarily better. At least with the prosthetic, we know we can be consistent. So this is a new piece that is in the Voodoo Maze. We sculpted it with a full bottom jaw as well. We won't be using it. The reason we sculpted it with the bottom jaw is because when we offer it to our sister parks, they might need a full face sculpt. Or 7 years from now, with the mold still around, we may need a full face sculpt. We'll just use both pieces at the same time. The other thing that's brand new for us this year, in addition to all the zombie madness in Camp Snoopy. Have I talked about Camp Snoopy zombies?
Yeah.
We have 93 zombies we are putting in makeup every night, varying degrees. And I know the hardest thing for my makeup artists to be this year is to show restraint. Because they're going to want to do zombie makeup, zombie infection, everything up here. Well, part of the story is to show the infection taking over. So we have to show a little bit of restraint. These characters will be starting to be infected. These will be full-blown infected, and these people are just falling apart. You know what I mean? We've got creative people. For them to show restraint isn't always easy. Like I said, when we start out, they might show a little bit more restraint, but the way we do this, they'll just go hog wild if we don't have to keep pulling it back. What else is new this year? In the Tooth Fairy Maze, like I talked about, well, I believe Tim talked about it, there's two different things, or two different ways of thinking of come up with characters and costumes. If you fill a world or a maze or a scare zone with characters that all look individual, there's no two alike, you're going to feel like there's more people in the area. Which is a good tactic, to make you feel like, there's hundreds and thousands of monsters out there after you when it's really 45, okay? The other option is if you're in a maze, to have the exact same identical look throughout the maze repeated, whether it's the same face, same body type, same whatever, you feel like there's somebody who's following you. personally harassing you as you walk through the maze, right? The reason we wanted to go with this mask, and this was a custom mask that we actually did in-house for us here. We wanted to have them all be the same, so it looked like the dentist character in the Tooth Fairy was following you throughout the maze and was harassing you. This is the dentist mask. Basically, it's very dirty, gross character, big rubber cleaning gloves on his hands, and we wanted it to have the personal attention. So again, you feel like you've got one person harassing you. When they described the character to me, again, I went to my catalog, had looked, I couldn't find anything like what they were describing. Daniel, the designer, came up with an image, I'm sorry, I'll hold it right side up, came up with an image that he had found somewhere online that somebody had stitched together a mask out of burlap or something. And have you ever felt burlap? I can't imagine wearing a mask out of burlap. I mean, it just itches. So we were looking for something that had the texture of this, with the ease and ability to be able to keep it clean and such. So, whereas one of my artists sculpted this, Leanne, my other one, sculpted this. She basically took the clay, did a base outline of a mask. Then and this is the thing that just, I said, sure, go ahead. I wasn't sure it was going to work, but we challenged her. She went to a thrift store for $1, bought a purse, took this purse, ripped it apart. Over the top of her clay sculpt, she put pieces from this leather purse. Then she went to the hardware, to our stock room, and bought metal hardware and put it on there as well. This is a solid piece of rubber. I mean, it looks like it's layer upon layer upon layer, but it's not. It is a solid piece. And this is something that is singular to Knott Scary Farm, to that maze there. It was built for us. We won't find this anywhere else. This isn't a mask like we're trying to hide the person hiding inside. We know that there's somebody inside who's keeping his identity hidden from us. Where some of our masks, we're suspending disbelief. This is a vampire. No, there is a human being inside this mask who is freaking me out because he won't let me see who he is. Again, the teeth on it, we were concerned. When I saw the original sculpt, I thought the teeth were going to fall off. They're sculpted into that. They're painted individually. All of that hardware, there is nothing on there that will fall off. It's a single piece of rubber. Even though it looks like it's different textures, even that piece, I mean, if you look right here, where'd it go? You can see the teeth on the zipper that she used from that purse. And in the mold, when she made it, they transferred exactly into the mold. So this is something that will be held on with elastic straps. We'll be able to see the talent's hair sticking out from underneath it. Again, we're really excited about anything that we can make truly ours, that we know that we can't see anywhere else. We're all for that. Any questions for me? I've just been talking, you guys ready. Come on. No questions? None?
So how much questions?
Okay,
How much does the makeup department contribute to other Cedar Fair sister parks besides supplying foam latex?
Pretty much this is it. This is it. We provide this. We did go to some of the other parks. I'm trying to think, it was, I don't know, 15 years ago. We did take one of our team leads to one of the other parks and say, this is how we set our areas up. We did say, these are the products we'd like to use. This is the way we do our paperwork. I have no idea if they're still following our model or not. I know that in some ways that they've pretty much taken what they did and what we've done and come up with their version of it. But pretty much we each run our projects individually.
How about the pre-painting?
Pre-painting, this is something that I found out this year. One of the other parks, they have, see, we being in Southern California, we have a large pool of makeup artists around here. We know that some of the other sister parks, they have the people who work in their park as the t-shirt airbrushers. They pre-paint the prosthetics for them. So the person who's applying the prosthetic has very little makeup skill. They glue the thing on and they blend around the edges. they don't have access to makeup artists like what we do here. I know that some of the other ones, they've contacted their local colleges and said, please come in and help us out a little bit. We are the only ones that have a full staff. Now again, when I say a full professional makeup artist staff, not all of my staff went to makeup school. I've got different people that come from all sorts of different backgrounds. I've got people who are graphic artists. I've got people who, they have office desk jobs. The one time a year that they actually get paid to do this kind of thing is when they come here. But you look at their skill and you never know that. This was something they maybe studied in college. This is something they've done for fun for the last 15 years. This is their time to actually get to do it and, you know, and shine, because they don't have a chance to do this anywhere else. But I do have a lot of people that have gone to makeup school and have studied. Questions?
Last question, Bill, before we get on to the next part of the tour.
Because I would just keep talking, but I know you guys gotta go.